friends, Miss Janet here from the Stouffville Library, and I have a STEM idea for you today. But before we get to the idea, we need to read a story. And the story that I have chosen to read is called Bubble Trouble. And our challenge is the trouble with bubbles. We're going to see what happens in this story with a bubble. So this is Bubble Trouble by Margaret Mahy, and it was published by Clarion Books. So I'm going to read and then I will show you the picture because Miss Janet needs to see the words and then I will show you the picture, okay? Little Mabel blew a bubble and it caused a lot of trouble. Such a lot of trouble, such a lot of bubble trouble in a bibble bobble way, for it broke away from Mabel as it bobbed across the table, where it bobbled over baby and it wafted him away. Uh-oh. I can't imagine if that were to happen. The baby didn't quibble. He began to smile and dribble, for he liked the wibble wobble of the bubble in the air. But Mabel ran for cover as the bubble bobbed above her, and she shouted out for Mother, who was putting up her hair. Oh dear. It does sound like bubble trouble. At the sudden cry of trouble, Mother took off at the double, for the squealing left her reeling, made her terrified and tense. Saw the bubble for a minute with the baby bobbing in it, as it bibbled by the letterbox and bobbed across the fence. In her garden, Christa Gribble had begun to cry and cavil at her lazy brother Greville reading novels in his bed. But she bellowed, "Gracious Greville," and she grovelled on the gravel when the baby in the bubble bibble bobbled overhead. Oh my goodness, he's going for a real ride. In a garden folly, Tibble and his jolly mother Sybil sat and played a game of Scrabble, shouting shrilly as they scored. But they both began to babble and to scrubble with the Scrabble as the baby in the bubble bibble bobbled by the board. Oh my goodness, look at that. Can you imagine if you saw a baby going across your game in a bubble? Then crumpled Mr. Copple and his wife, a crabby couple, set out arm in arm to hobble and to squabble down the lane. But the baby in the bubble turned their hobble to a joggle as they raced away like rockets, and they've never limped again. Even feeble Mrs. Threeble, in a muddle with her needle, matching pink and purple patches for a pretty patchwork quilt, when her older sister told her, tossed the quilt across her shoulder as she set off at a totter in her tattered tartan kilt. Oh my goodness, everybody is just in a tizzy, it sounds like. At the shops, a busy rabble met to gossip and to gabble, started gibbering and goggling as the bubble bobbled by. Mother, hand in hand with Mabel, flew as fast as she was able, very troubled lest the bubble burst or vanish in the sky. Can you imagine if that baby just was lost in a bubble in the sky? After them came Greville Gribble in his nightshirt with his novel all about a haunted hovel held on high above his head, followed by his sister Christa, though her boots had made a blister. Then came Tibble pulling Sybil with the Scrabble for a sled. Everybody's involved in this, oh my goodness. After them, the Copple couple came cavorting at the double. Then a jogger, quite a slogger, joined the crowd who called and coughed. Up above the puzzled people, way up toward the chapel steeple, rose the bubble with the baby, slowly lifting up aloft. So he was going higher and higher. Oh my goodness. There was such a flumadiddle. Mabel huddled in the middle. Canon Dapple left the chapel, followed by the chapel choir, and the treble singer made Abel threw a apple core at Mabel as the baby in the bubble bobbled up a little higher. Oh, they giggled and they goggled until all their brains were boggled as the baby in the bubble rose above the little town. With the problem let us grapple, murmured kindly Canon Dapple, and the problem we must grapple with is bringing baby down. How are they going to bring him down out of that bubble safely? Now let Mabel stand on Abel, who could stand in turn on Tibble, who could stand on Greville Gribble, who would stand upon the wall. While the people from the shop will stand to catch them. If they topple, then perhaps they'll reach the bubble, saving baby from a fall. Do you think they're going to be able to reach up and get him? But Abel, though a treble, was a rascal and a rebel, fond of getting into trouble when he didn't have to sing. Pushing quickly through the people, Abel clambered up the steeple with nefarious intentions and a pebble in his sling. Uh-oh. Do you think he's going to send that flying and burst that bubble? Abel quietly aimed the pebble past the steeple of the chapel at the baby in the bubble, wibbly-wobbling way up there. And the pebble burst the bubble, so the future seemed to fizzle for the baby boy, who grizzled as he tumbled through the air. Uh-oh. I don't know what kind of ending this is going to have. What a moment for a mother as her infant plunged above her. There were groans and gasps and gargles from the horror-stricken crowd. Sybil said, "Upon my honor, there's a baby who's a goner." And Krista hissed with emphasis, "It shouldn't be allowed." Oh dear. But Mabel, Tibble, Greville, and the jogger, Chris and Neville, didn't quiver, didn't quaver, didn't drivel, shrivel, wilt. But as one they made a swivel, and with action firm but civil, they divested Mrs. Threeble of her petty patchwork quilt. Oh, that sounds like a good plan. So they're all holding up that quilt. Oh dear. Oh, what calculated catchwork. Baby bounced into the patchwork, where his grizzles turned to giggles and to wiggles of delight, and the people stared dumbfounded as he bobbled and rebounded, till the baby boy was grounded and his mother held him tight. Oh my goodness, that quilt came in handy, and they caught that baby. And the people there still prattle. There is lots of tittle-tattle for the glory in this story, young and old folk, golden gray, of how wicked treble Abel tripled trouble with his pebble, but how Mabel and some others saved her brother and the day. Wow. So that baby had quite a ride in that bubble. So our STEM challenge today is to make some kind of a bubble wand. So you think about what things you could use to make a bubble wand. And I want you to think about, if that wand created a bubble that whisked you away, where would you like to go? And how do you think you would get down? So I've only collected 2 things here, but I want you to use your imagination. I have some drinking straws and I have some twist ties. And I thought I would find some pipe cleaners, and I'm going to make a bubble blower, a bubble wand, and then I'm going to get some bubble solution, just some soap and water, and I'm going to try blowing some bubbles, and I want to see how big of a bubble I can blow. So I would like you to see how big of a bubble you can blow after you've made a wand, and you're going to make it unique however you want to make a wand to blow some bubbles. And then think about, if you were whisked away just like that baby in a bubble, where would you like to go? And how do you think you would get down? Do you think somebody would sling a rock or an arrow or something at it, and it would burst and you would come tumbling down, and there would be a quilt to catch you? I don't know. Use your imagination. So create some kind of a bubble wand, and then see how big of a bubble that you can blow. And that's your STEM challenge and activity for today. Make a wand and blow the biggest bubble, and see if you can send something up in the air and cause bubble trouble. Have fun, and I will see you again soon.